Hey guys, Noah from Stage 3 Motorsports here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install these BuiltRight storage panels in the bed of your F-150 or Raptor. So let's get right into it. So the tools you're going to need for this install are pretty simple. The first thing you're going to need is some sort of driver with some bits that can be swapped out, and you're going to want to use a T30 Torx bit on this. Then you're going to need a ratchet with both a 13 and an 11 millimeter socket for those. And you're also probably going to want an extension to help get into the brackets once we reach that point. But really, that's about all you're going to need. Step one for this is going to be attaching the mount bracket to the panel itself. And you want to do this before you put the bracket on the truck because it's really difficult to try and attach the panel to the bracket when it's already on the vehicle. So we've got the brackets here, so I'm going to hop down, we'll get this mounted, and then we can work on getting it in the bed after that. The larger panel of the two is going to be for the rearmost section of the bed, so that's where we're going to focus in first. And you're going to actually have two brackets because there will be one for the front and one for the back. Now, they look really similar at first glance, but there is a difference, and so what you want to take a look at is this bottom bend in the bracket. That plate is going to be longer for this panel. So you can see that there's a bit more metal here than there is right there, so we're going to save this one for the front. And this will be the one that we're going to work on mounting in this large square at the back of the panel. Now you'll see that there is some adjustability here because it's all slotted and you can kind of slide that bracket around and you have a little bit of room to play with for where you want to sit that in your truck. Now I've already done one side, so I kind of know how I want to position that, but you may want to test fit for yourself beforehand if you have other bed accessories or there's a very specific way you want this to work. For us, if we shift it more towards the back and kind of line them up, it's going to be plenty even and it'll fit the way we want. The carriage bolts will go through first, then you're going to put a washer and your nylock nut on the back to hold it in place. All right, so here's where we're going to use that 11 millimeter socket and also an extension to make it a little easier, and we're just going to tighten these down. Now that I've got my bracket mounted to the panel, I'm actually going to do the front panel real quick so I can get that all put together. Then we'll jump in the bed and mount everything up. Okay. So this front panel is done. We've got both the brackets attached where they need to be. And like I said, I positioned them previously on the truck so I knew where we wanted them. So now let's hop in the bed and we'll get these things mounted up. In the corners of your bed, you're gonna have some tie downs for cargo and you're gonna use your T30 Torx bit to remove the hardware for this. And you wanna save these because these are actually what are gonna mount the bracket to the truck. Position our panel right where it's going to be kind of over that hole. And the way I like to do it is actually put the panel up behind the channel in the bed here a little bit, so when it's in place it kind of sits like that instead of over the front of the vehicle. It just looks a little cleaner to me, but we're going to get that lined up there. Take the Torx hardware here, put that through the hole. Okay. Now grab two of these clamps that came in your kit and you're going to want to loosen them up a bit. And basically the positioning is going to be like this, to where you have the loop in the bottom at the lowest setting, Then you'll have this larger kind of grooved bit on the outside with the smaller bit on the in. And this can kind of just rotate into place. You'll see that it slides around and fits in these cutouts that are already in the storage panel. And then from there, we can tighten this down. And that's gonna just pinch this panel against the inside of the bed rail to keep everything solid. You're gonna use your 13mm socket and ratchet to tighten these down, and it can get a little tricky because they do tend to shift a bit as you tighten them, but just get a little bit of pressure on there to keep it in place. So once you're happy with your panel placement and you've got the clamps locked on there, we can do the same process over again at the front of the bed. So that's all it takes to get these BuiltRight panels installed. Seems like they're pretty solid in here, and really all we have to decide now is what accessories we want to mount to them down the road. But with that being said, if you guys are interested in picking up these BuiltRight panels for your bed, go ahead and click the links down below in the description. We also have some of their mounts and accessories in there if you already have some things like shovels and equipment that you want to stick onto them. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.